Recording in progress.
Hello, Steve Mills here. Welcome to the Results Podcast. It's great to have you back, whether you're listening to me on my actual podcast or on YouTube. Thank you ever so much for your time in being here. I really appreciate it. And what I want to try to do is to make sure that your time is really well spent. So today I'm really lucky. I'm going to be interviewing a gentleman called Daniel Moses. Daniel and I have only known each other for a little while. But already he's certainly seriously impressed me in terms of what he knows and what he's achieved. So welcome to the podcast, Daniel. It's great to have you here. Thank you for your time. And do you want to sort of kick off by telling everybody a little bit about you and what you're doing right now?
Oh, thank you so much, Steve, for having me on the show. Really appreciate the invitation. My name is Daniel Moses, and I am a property entrepreneur, a mentor, a coach, and also I just kind of inspire the entire public at large to get started in investing in property, especially when it comes to being ordinary person like Daniel Moses, who immigrated from Nigeria way back in 2004. To this great and lovely, amazing United Kingdom of a country that I have settled in the last 17 years, through the roller coaster, through the ups and downs. I'm just super humbled to have been able to be where I am now, where just over the last 18 months alone, we have transitioned and transformed the life of over hundreds of individuals get started in property, doing exactly what I did getting started. So I'm just super, humbled to be here, Steve. Thank you.
Thank you. It's a really interesting story that you've got there. And why don't we sort of kick off by, I don't know, perhaps you telling, you mentioned about the ups and downs and trials and tribulations, because I think, all of us in life, we it's not all roses, is it? I think almost anybody who's been successful have also had tough times. I know, I've been in business now 27 years and I've been helping and advising people, and one tough time that we've all come through recently is the COVID time, isn't it? I remember back in March when Boris announced the shutdown, I lost 40% of my business. And I'm thinking, do you know what? I'm not even sure if this gets any worse, whether I'll even be able to survive. So, we had the 2008 and 9/11 and all these things. So we all had ups and downs. So do you want to just tell people a bit more about your story?
Well, I first immigrated to the UK way back in 2004 in search for greener pasture after graduated as a sociologist and an anthropologist.
Okay.
Back in my university days in Nigeria from the University of Benin. Nigeria was not sort of promising at that time, for the kind of future that I think I wanted. And from a very young age, I've always been very ambitious. I wanted to be successful. I wanted to be a great person. I wanted to be someone that can change whether the immediate or the greater audience.
Okay.
To help them go from where they are to where they want to go. I just wanted to be I wanted to be this person that that can impact anyone. And I think in search for that got me really motivated. I remember it was the last 2 years of me being in uni, and I said I was going to go to America, or I was going to go to the UK. But the truth is, I didn't have a family, no brother, no sister, no siblings in this country. And however, I got my visiting visa to come down to this country. And that was the beginning of my journey. The beginning of my journey started with me taking a little leap of faith once I graduated in 2004 to coming back to this country, to just, hope for the best.
Sure.
Exactly.
Must have been a big leap of faith. That's a major life change, isn't it? Moving to a different continent, different culture, different country. So I admire you for doing that alone. So what happened when you got here? You know, did everything work out perfectly, or were there ups and downs here?
Not quite. Not quite. First of all, English was a barrier because in as much as we spoke Queen's English in Nigeria, then it comes to talk about the accent, right?
Yeah.
So like pronouncing some things in the UK, you sound like what do you actually mean by what you said? What are you thinking in your head? You just pronounced it, but that tonality, the accent wasn't, you know, 17 years ago, my accent was really terrible. Just things like that.
Yeah.
Communication barrier, you know, understanding that, you know what, you've got to really work hard.
Yeah.
You want to be successful in this country, you know, doing all the odd jobs, you name it, from cleaning, you know, to cleaning the toilets, to, you know, any sort of thing that was out there just for me to survive.
Yeah.
You know, I went through every single thing, and because I didn't come here to study at that, except to make hands meet, then and throw back into 2005, I think about October, I met my wife. I met my then girlfriend, who's now my wife.
Okay.
And after I met my wife, I think, you know, things started to kind of settle down a little bit.
Yeah.
You know, and 2005, I decided to say, okay, let me start doing a trade business, which was buying clothes and shipping it back to Africa to sell, buying cars, breaking it into spare parts, and then packaging it up.
Okay. Wow.
Nigeria.
Okay.
And, you know, I just did everything that I could to survive. And
Yeah.
at some point in 2008, I decided to set up a business in the internet cafe industry. So I had a little internet cafe. I'm sure you remember those days where the smartphones wasn't here. So
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
50p.
Yeah. You pay a little bit of money to use the internet for an hour or something. Yeah.
And I went from doing that, and it just got to 2012. And the greener pasture I thought I was after, the better life that I was looking for, wasn't coming forward after being here 2004 to about 2012. And I decided to collapse every other thing that I had done to relocate back to Nigeria. So I relocated back into Nigeria with the little money that I was able to get from liquidating my business, and got back to Nigeria. I started in the oil and gas industry.
Okay.
At this time, I got married, had 2 lovely kids.
Great.
One is English, though she's born and raised here, so she's fully English. So I'm going to relocate back to Africa because the working 9 to 5 thing wasn't really for me.
Okay.
I always wanted to just, you know, have a business. I wanted to be a really successful entrepreneur where I can have an organization and have people working for me. But that wasn't happening. So it was just me working. It's like almost like you think you're making money, but you're not making money because every single penny you're making is to pay your mortgage, your rent.
Yeah.
I just couldn't, you know, continue with that. So I went back to Nigeria, set up an oil and gas business. To me, I thought I was really failing because for everything I've been through, you know, not working for me in the UK. So I just thought, you know what, I'm going to relocate back.
Right.
To Nigeria. I went back to Nigeria, set up the oil and gas business. And just from setting up the oil and gas business, it really kicked up really well. First year, second year, things went really, really great for me. And then the third year, I had the most challenging scenario in my life where 2 of my trucking business, so basically 2 of my trailers, because the oil and gas industry, what I was doing was taking the refined products from the depots and taking that to the petrol station where it was then sold to an end user.
Okay.
So on this particular trailers driving on the same road back to back, and they crashed into each other and fell into a ditch in Nigeria.
Oh no!
And in one day, I lost about £150,000.
Oh,
and
wow!
My trailers, my insurance had just just expired a week before. And my manager was meant to have renewed, and there wasn't anything that we could do. And this was really, it was hard.
Yeah.
And I went into depression, I went into anxiety, and I'm thinking, all right, entrepreneurship is not for me. And I remember picking up that very cold phone call and speaking to my wife and said, this is what's happening coming back to the UK.
Yeah.
And I'm just going to give up the entrepreneurship. I'm just going to give up.
You're going to continue with your dream, your aim, yeah?
Yeah, I was going to discontinue the dream. I was going to, the success. In my mind now was that success wasn't for me. Depression is kicked in. And I thought nothing good was going to happen to me. Relocated back to the UK. And the first thing I did when I remember coming back, and my wife said to me, Danny, what next is for you now? And I said, I don't know. I don't know what to do. And I said, I've never had a proper job in the UK. I've always just, traded something.
Yeah.
Legitimate. And I remember saying to my wife, I'm going to just go and get a delivery job. And I did that. And I went to get a delivery job just to get by, to pay the bills at home. And it was tough. It was really, really tough. But while this was happening, I had a strong encounter with God. And I started to read more about the Bible. I started to discover myself.
Okay.
I started to discover sometimes it wasn't about first chasing money. It was about identifying and understanding who you are, having a vision, just kind of a rediscovery of who I am.
Yeah.
So when I relocated back to the UK in 2015, it's like starting all over where I started first. When I came in 2004. So I went doing a delivery job. I did that for a couple of months. Then I started driving Uber. I drove Uber full time, and I was doing over 110 hours a week plus.
Wow.
We generated an average of about £3,000 a month. Then after paying all the bills, the cars, I probably have about 1,000 plus left. But it was hard because I had to put in the hours.
I understand,
I needed about minimum X amount of money to survive. Then I remember one day I was so tired. I was dropping someone from one of the airports. I can't remember which of the airport it was. And I fell asleep and I was so tired. So I pulled it into a petrol station. And whilst I pulled into a petrol station, I fell asleep for a couple of minutes. And then, again, like I said, I drew closer to God, and I had a dream, that I should look into property. I should, probably it was like almost like, I don't know if you've ever had someone tell you about, it's like having a dream, but it's very clear about this is what you should be doing, not all these dramas. These dramas you've been through your life was to kind of humble you and get you to start something. For. So I think that was where the message was.
Yeah.
I woke up from that little 20, 30 minutes nap, looked on my phone, went on Facebook, and while I was on Facebook, straight away an ad pops up, talking about how to get started in property. And I literally clicked on that event. It was a 2 hours event in London. Clicked on it. It was the last £70 that I had in my bank account. Sorry, on my credit card, not my bank account. And I registered with the last £70 that I had to that training event. And that was a new total beginning for my current future. And
wow. That's amazing, isn't it? But it's strange, how I think nearly everybody's had that moment in their life, or moments. Often it happens many times where they're just thinking about something, and it happens. I always remember in my business, I was thinking back in the day when we were producing CDs and things like that, of recording some of my expertise onto CDs. And I just got one of those little, personal microphone things, and I've recorded it into that. And I was talking to my colleague, Jenna, about it, and she said, "Oh, I think it's fine." I said, "Well, I think we need to go and get get it done properly in a studio." And we didn't really end the conversation, but I went back to my desk, opened my emails up, and an advert appeared for a recording studio. I think it was like 50% off if you wanted to come in and record something. And that's the only one I've had in 27 years. And it literally landed on my, in my inbox within 2 seconds of me having that conversation. And as I say, nearly everybody's got a conversation or an experience like that. So I do understand. So tell everybody a little bit. I'm really fascinated myself to know. You've obviously been successful in the property world. I know you've got you do lots of seminars and webinars and stuff like that. And I know you've got a system, and you've got a book as well, yeah. So tell people about what you're doing now, and really how you can help people, if you would, please.
Yeah, I mean, I do a lot of things to help people. Number one is mindset.
Yes.
Because through my very first 12 years of relocating or graduating from school, I went through a massive roller coaster of life.
Yeah, clever.
And through this roller coaster, I could have given up. I could have said, I was in, life, I could have just given up and not do what I did today.
Yeah.
And one of the lessons I learned that no matter what your ambitions are, it's not going to happen the moment you think about it. It's not going to happen the moment you want to do it. It's going to maybe take 10 years, it could take 5, it could take 20, even 20 years. Now, when life knocks you down, there's something I always love to say, quoted by Les Brown. It says, when life knocks you down, try to land on your back, because if you can look up.
Nice saying, yeah.
Yes, so I could have not landed on my back when I went through those challenges. And I couldn't have been where I am today. So my number one help to people is that ordinary people can actually still transition to becoming extraordinary people, impact, and digging deeper into their personal stories. What is the life lessons you have learned? What is the life journey that you've been through? Because wherever you're trying to go, success is a journey. Life is a journey. And without the journey, there is no success. All right? And often, especially this day and age, when we look at social media, people glamorize this success very quickly. We believe it's shining, but that is not the case. You could want to get started with i.e. property or any business at all. It might not happen for a year or 5 or 6 or even 10 years. For me, my journey was a good 12 years. And I've now been in my new space just under 5 years. And within the last 5 years, it looks like I was being prepared for 12 good years for what I'm doing.
Right,
today.
yeah.
All right, and now I've become very successful in property, actually now a property millionaire, and in the last 4 years, and, something that I wanted to do really well, I wanted to be, first of all, a sinking man cannot help another sinking man. If you're drowning and you can't swim, another guy who can't swim can't go and try to save the person who's drowning, because you've got to help yourself.
Yeah.
It means the very first 2 years or 2 years, I had to help myself first.
Yes.
So once I helped myself, I became, what I am today. I'm now offering to help a lot of people who probably would have gone through my journey, or people who are looking to say, I still got some things in me, and I think the world needs to hear it, or I think I've got something in me to be successful. Maybe if property is your vehicle, then yes, I can help you, go from zero to help you, educate you, mentor you, train you on how you can go from zero without not having a lot of money to creating million pounds in property. Now, the first thing first is educating yourself, because without education, without coaching, without mentorship, I don't think I've been where I am today. Up till today, I still invest in mentors. I mentor a lot of people. I have 2 mentors who are currently working with me.
Right.
Told me how I need to go to where I want to go to. So because my goal is not to just have £1 million portfolio, then I'm happily ever after. Because if I want to help so many people, I need to be super successful so that I can bring a lot of people with me. So I help people in that transitioning from the ordinary to the extraordinary by digging deeper into their personalities and stories, see how we can bring out some things that will help them. And also, I also help people building property portfolio from zero. So you may not need to physically have money in the bank, but I teach people how to use other people's money to creating a property portfolio. And also, I also teach a lot of people how to control other people's property so you can generate cash flow month in, month out. And finally, I also teach people how to trade property information and get paid for the information that you are providing to someone else who is pretty busy. So because some property investors are very busy, they don't have the time to view properties, they don't have time to find properties. So what if you can help them, find the properties, view properties, show them the return on investment, which is the ROI, and then get paid in that process. So I teach people a lot of things in property. For me, I started from zero because I lost everything as an Uber driver. I started, to build my business, and gradually a year later, I became a full-time property investor. And 3 years from me being a full-time property investor, I became a portfolio millionaire, and currently have over just in excess of under 20 properties in my current portfolio.
Right. Wow. So I think your message there is I think pretty much anybody can do this. You don't need to have millions or hundreds of thousands in the bank, but pretty much anybody can do it. But it all clearly starts with the belief, doesn't it? Without people maybe listening to this are thinking, oh well, it's all right for him. He's already got his £1 million property portfolio, but you didn't used to have. And as you say, you've had your ups and downs and things. So anybody can do it, but it's really, I think, like most things in life, it takes phenomenal amount of determination. I'm sure it takes consistency, because this is not a get rich quick scheme, is it, that you're talking about? It's a get rich quick. You said it might take 5 years, 10 years, even 20 years, to get you to the way you want to go. And it's consistent, improvement. So that's fantastic. So I know you've got a system or process. Is it appropriate to tell people about that, or is that something they'd learn if they perhaps came on the webinar or the book, or where are we with that?
Yeah, very easy to be honest to say. The system is very, number one is, if you're looking to get started in property, and property has always been your interest, and you have this vision that you can actually own one property, you can own 2 properties, or you want to control property to generate cash flow, or you want to find a little bit more, or what is Daniel Moses talking about here? I think the first point of call is to probably get one of my books on Amazon.
Okay.
It's called The Rent to Rent Made Easy, and the book actually made Amazon bestseller.
Fantastic.
So you want to go onto Amazon to grab a copy of that.
Sorry,
book.
could you just repeat that? It's called Rent
to Rent Made Easy.
Rent to Rent Made Easy on Amazon, yeah? Okay, brilliant.
And it just shows everyone how to get into property with little or no money.
No money down. Fantastic.
It gives you the basic information, all right? And now once you start to dig dive into this information, it gives you as many light bulb moments as possible for you to now recondition your mindset. If you're somebody who is very passionate, you wanted to get started, but you don't know how, okay? And that gives you the first, light bulb moments or help you recondition your mindset that actually, if Daniel has been through this journey and he's helping other people and a lot of other people have done it, this means that I too can do it, right? A lot of people want to get started in property because you know what? Property in the UK contributes an average of just under 30% of the UK's economy, all right?
Wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah, contributes about 30% of the United Kingdom economy. So why would you want to be involved in something that has such a vast contribution towards the national statistics?
Yeah.
So, and it pays you to just invest about £7.95 to get a book that's going to just give you some tips and nuggets. And if you feel like, I get the message, then come onto one of my webinars.
Okay.
Where you can get some information that keeps you completely for free. I do this every single Thursday, 6:30 to 8 p.m.
Okay.
Every single Thursday.
Perfect.
Ask a lot of questions for free. See whether it's for you. See whether maybe whatever I've said resonates with you and can help you change your mindset, change how you saw property before today. Now, the question I would always say to people is that success leaves clues.
Yes.
As long as you're willing to search for those clues.
Yes.
Continually leave clues. So if you're someone that wants to look for property information, then go and find those clues by reading, even, just check me out on Google and just kind of find basic information, and contribute your hours, maybe an hour a day to yourself. Contribute an hour to yourself, hours a day, just to learn something new and eventually get to where you want to go. And those will kind of help you get on the first initial steps. And then maybe after that, if you want to go for advanced coaching, then you can do that.
Yeah,
so
brilliant.
It's a process of how anyone can kind of get involved.
I know I listen quite a bit to Tony Robbins. I don't know whether you know of Tony, but he one of his sayings is success leaves clues. If you want to be successful, there's a format, there's a way of doing that. And I think, for somebody like me who, not real, certainly no way a property expert, if I just go and try it, I'm going to, give it a go and maybe invest some money in properties, I'm probably going to get a result. Hopefully it'll not be a bad one. But to really get to the level that you're talking, I've got to do the model success. Find somebody who's got what I want, do the same things, you get the same or similar results. Again, that's a quote from Tony Robbins. And, I'm sure in property, there's things that you can do wrong. And having someone like you to guide people through who's probably made the mistakes and, got it right and got it wrong both, is a way of really shortcutting and reducing the opportunity to get things wrong and make sure that, again, you've got a system that works. Following that system, for me, would be really, really key, I think.
Absolutely, Steve. Yes, it's the best. The best saying is just copy someone who's already successful doing what you're trying to do. And just look at their systems, processes.
Yeah, brilliant. Yeah. So if so,
how people just do it.
Yeah. If somebody wanted to attend the webinar, they know where to buy the book now. If they wanted to attend the webinar, where do they go? What do they do to do that?
To do that, just go on my website. It's www.danielmosesdm.com.
Okay.
And just follow the link that says webinar. And register. And it's as easy as that.
Okay. And that's every Thursday, was it?
Thursday.
At 6 p.m. UK time, was it? 6:30 p.m. to 8. Okay.
8 o'clock.
Great. Okay. Well, that's brilliant. And is that free to attend, or do people pay, or?
Absolutely free.
Absolutely free. Fantastic. Well, if you're listening to this today and you like what Daniel said and you like the idea, maybe you're a little bit unsure what to do, because that would be natural. The next step would be probably to do both of those things. I'd recommend, go and buy the book and get yourself signed up to the webinar. And people can ask you questions on the webinar.
Question, clarity, yes.
Fantastic. Okay, so just remains for me to say a really big thank you, Daniel. I really appreciate your time, as I said. This edition of the results program, a little bit different to normal, because we're talking about something specific, i.e. Investing in property, but it's all about improving your results, which is ultimately what we want to do. So without anything further, thank you ever so much, Daniel. I really appreciate your time, as I've said. Thank you, everybody, for listening today, and good luck with that property investing. So thanks very much.
Appreciate it. Thank you so much. It's great to be here.